What if there was a novel that could predict your death? Intriguing, isn't it? But maybe not only your death, but even some more. Get prepared, grab your seat as we venture deep into this story. When you are the least prepared, someone close to you will greet you with the inevitable fate of death. This chilling line from the novel comes to life, takes form and starts to mirror the life of one man, Richard. Richard, a man of routine and order, finds his life spiraling into a horrifying tale of suspense and fear. Just an ordinary man living an ordinary life until he picks up a seemingly ordinary horror novel. The story within the pages, the narrative of a man stalked by an impending doom, begins to bear an uncanny resemblance to his own life. In the novel, the protagonist, much like Richard, lives a life of comfortable monotony. The protagonist's life, his home, his job, even his friends, eerily mirror Richard's own life. The novel's protagonist received an anonymous letter one day, a cryptic message that foretold of his imminent demise. The protagonist's end was supposed to come at a dinner with his friends. The chilling realization dawns on Richard that he has a similar dinner scheduled with his friends the next day. Could it be that one of his friends, just like in the novel, is the killer? Richard's mounting fear compels him to cancel the event. However, one of his friends, worried about Richard's possible deteriorating health, takes the initiative to visit him on the day of the planned death. The lines between fiction and reality begin to blur as Richard's life starts to parallel the grim narrative of the novel. A knock on the door breaks the eerie silence of Richard's house. The persistent knocking continues, echoing through the empty halls. A phone vibrates loudly on the table. It's Richard's friend, Sam, his voice filled with worry on the other end of the line. "Richard, are you okay?" he asks, the concern in his voice palpable even over the phone. Richard, hesitating, responds with a weak, "I'm fine, just a bit under the weather." His friend insists, "You don't sound fine, Richard. Can I come in?" But Richard, brushing off his friend's concerns, insists he's okay. I don't think that's a good idea. I just need some rest," he says, his voice barely above a whisper. "Okay, man. I'll be around doing some deliveries on my truck if you need anything. You just holler, okay?" Sam continues. The line goes dead, and once again the house plunges into an eerie silence, as if it were holding its breath, waiting for what's to come. As the doomsday hour approaches, Richard hears a chilling sound, the grating noise of a window being forced open. The sound cuts through the silence like a knife, sending a jolt of fear through Richard's veins. His heart pounds in his chest, a wild drum echoing the dread that's creeping into his soul. He jumps up, his hand instinctively reaching for the baseball bat he keeps in the corner of the room. As he wraps his trembling hand around the solid wood, he feels a rush of adrenaline. His senses are heightened, the ticking of the clock in the hallway sounding deafening in the heavy silence. With cautious steps, he moves towards the source of the noise, each creak of the floorboards under his weight sounding like a gunshot in the quiet house. Fear and determination are etched on his face, his eyes wide and alert, his grip on the baseball bat tightening. His heart is a pounding drum in his chest, his breath uneven. With the intruder inside his house and the doomsday hour approaching, Richard goes back to his room and locks the door. If you're finding this spine-chilling saga as captivating as I am, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to our channel for more horror stories. Now let's return to Richard, locked in his room, the dread of the unknown looming as the doomsday hour creeps ever closer. In the dead of night, an icy chill of terror sweeps over Richard as the door to his room is kicked open with a deafening crash. The intruder lunges at him, the dark silhouette of an unknown menace. The assailant tries to overpower Richard, but he fights back, using all his energy to deflect the incoming blows. The room becomes a battleground, the air thick with tension and the grunts of exertion. The struggle is desperate, a wild dance of survival in the eerie stillness of the night. The intruder's grip is strong, but Richard's determination is stronger. With a swift strike, he swings the bat, connecting with a solid thump. The intruder crumples to the floor, knocked unconscious. In the silence that follows, Richard stands over the unconscious assailant, an uneasy victor in the night's horrifying events. Still panting heavily, Richard stares down at the intruder, his mind a whirl of confusion. He'd expected to unmask a friend, as the novel predicted, but the face staring blankly up at him is a stranger's. With shaking hands, he pulls out his phone, dialing 911. As he reports the break-in and assault, he turns away from the unconscious intruder, his attention momentarily diverted. He gives his address, his eyes scanning the room, trying to make sense of the chaos. But then, his heart stops. He spins back around, phone clattering from his hand. The intruder, who was sprawled on the floor just seconds ago, is gone. The room is empty, save for Richard's echoing heartbeat. The intruder has disappeared, swallowed by the night from which he came. Short after, the wailing sirens cut through the silence of the night, a beacon of hope piercing the shroud of fear. As the flashing red and blue lights flood Richard's home, he steps out, his body trembling, his face pale. I don't understand. He was right here, he stammers, his voice shaky as he explains the situation to the officers. The police, their expressions stoic, methodically sweep through the house. Their footsteps echo through the now eerily quiet rooms, their flashlights slicing through the darkness. But they find no trace of the intruder, just a house in a mess because of the chaos of the confrontation. They leave, their assurances of safety hanging heavily in the air. We'll patrol the area, keep an eye on your house, they say, their words doing little to quell Richard's rising panic. As the last police car fades into the distance, the house sinks back into silence. Richard is alone once again, the fear of the unknown still lingering, the echo of the intruder's disappearance resonating in the empty rooms. Richard stands in the doorway of his house, his eyes sweeping over the rooms that once held security and comfort. Now, they echo with a chilling emptiness, a stark reminder of the terror he has endured. With a bag hastily packed, he steps out, leaving behind the home he no longer recognizes. The streets are deserted, the silence of the night broken only by the low hum of his car's engine. He drives aimlessly, the city's familiar landmarks blurring into the darkness. His mind races, the haunting image of the intruder's disappearance replaying over and over. The fear, the panic, the desperation, all culminate into a shattering crescendo that drowns out the world around him. Suddenly, a blinding light tears through the night. A truck, its horn blaring, careens towards him. There's no time to react. The deafening crash reverberates through the empty streets, a chilling echo of Richard's final moments. In a cruel twist of fate, Richard's life ends not at the hands of an intruder, but in a tragic accident. The truck's driver was Sam. The city lights flickered in the rearview mirror as Sam, with shaking hands, dialed 911. He had taken the life of his friend. When Richard was the least prepared, the worst happened, unintentionally at the hands of a friend. The prophecy was fulfilled as the novel predicted. The intruder was nowhere to be found, the mystery of his existence still lingering. Was he real or just a figment of Richard's tormented mind? If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button. And if you want to delve into more chilling tales, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Thank you for joining us on this eerie journey. Stay tuned for more spine-chilling stories. Until next time.